Luke Keakley is returning to the Panthers organization. Well, kind of. He is going to be a part of the Panthers radio broadcast for a few games. Now, we don't know how many games that will be. Is that every game? We don't know. But he's going to be on the Panthers radio broadcast. Another way to bring back an all-time great in the history of the Panthers. This was a report, but every Cowboys fan knows this. And the Cowboys are quote-unquote not close to getting a deal done with Dalton Schultz. This, as I said, this is not unheard of. I mean, you put the time I record this is the final week of June, where no one has anything to talk about. We're still days away from the franchise tag deadline, and then we're still days away from the start of training camp. And then, obviously, still days away from preseason. So this isn't shocking. But also, it's a little annoying if you're a Cowboys fan, because the Cowboys have over $22 million in cap room, and they just decide to do nothing with it. It's only signing 3 free agents this year, 3 outside free agents. Which is ridiculous, that you only sign 3 free agents outside the organization. And the way they look at it, they don't feel Dalton Schultz is a $14 million guy. They want him more in the $12 million range. Dalton Schultz signed the franchise tag of $10.9 million. They feel he's more of a $12 million guy, not a $14 million guy. Now, they could franchise tag him again. By that point, it will be about $12.5 million. So you're really just waiting the inevitable. Either you're going to franchise tag him again, or you're just going to let him walk in free agency. I just don't see a chance the deal gets done. Jalen Ramsey undergoes a shoulder surgery, but he explained it was only a cleanup. It was only a cleanup, and he's okay. He'll be back in no time, which is good news, because the Rams definitely need him. Like we had said last week, we thought this could happen. The U.S. House Committee to subpoena Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder did not show up when Roger Goodell was getting asked questions about the situation and about some of the rules that the NFL has. But it's all, I think, for publicity, because there was a couple people who were like, why are we even getting on this committee, they're like, why are we even getting involved in this? What is the point? We have other things to worry about. Why are we even getting involved in the NFL stuff? To give a question and answer, I don't know why they're involved. Why are they? Why is the U.S. House Committee involved in this? But the answer would be, well, with how Daniel Snyder has been in the allegations against him and what he's done in misconduct, it's understandable. But at the same time, you weren't going to get anything out of Roger Goodell. And now Daniel Snyder just keeps finding a way to slide through the cracks. So, they can subpoena him all they want. But at the same time, is it going to do anything? We'll just have to wait and see. Steelers are signed former Bengals defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi. Ogunjobi had a great year last year, his best year of his career. The contract is a 1-year deal worth up to $8 million. Ogunjobi, if you can remember, was going to play for the Chicago Bears. He was going to get big payday. had failed his physical. He had a foot problem that no one knew about, and he goes and fails his physical. Now, it would be very similar in the ways of, if you remember last year, Kyle Rudolph, when he was going to go play for the Giants, had a foot issue, and he failed his physical, but they signed him anyway. The Bears could have elected to do that, but they chose not to. This is a good deal, I think, for the Steelers also. They do need some defensive tackle help, but I don't know if Ogunjobi is the answer. As we had said in our previous video, the NFLPA was concerned the NFL would go overboard with Deshaun Watson and the suspension. I really don't think they could have gone overboard in this. There's so much. Now, he did settle 20 of his 24 cases, even though the Texans have been added as a defendant in those cases for having some knowledge or all the knowledge in the world about what Deshaun was doing. That is still up for grabs. But as of right now, they're more concerned about what could happen to Deshaun Watson in 2022. Alvin Kamara could face 6+ game suspension after the incident at the Pro Bowl where Kamara gets arrested, and at first we heard 5 years, and I was like, that just doesn't seem accurate. It just doesn't seem accurate at all. 5 years for something that I don't even completely understand exactly what happened. If you do know, please tell me in the comments. But 6 games, and that's what everyone was saying was the expectation was 6 games or more. I could see 6, I just don't understand why it would be more than 6. And I could see this also get appealed down to like 2 or 3. That could easily happen as well. The Saints signed All-Pro linebacker Demario Davis, $12 million extension through 2024. This, I think, would be, like, every good team does this. They get bad news, that same day they come out with this great news. Every team does this. The Patriots did it for years. Some bad news would come out, then here's the great news, so it overshadows the bad news. It lessens the blow that they take from the bad news. And finally, final 2 things would be Deebo Samuel, according to a report this weekend, has not rescinded his trade request. Now, John Lynch, the general manager of the 49ers, said he would be dumb, it would be ridiculous of him to trade Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel wants to only really play wide receiver and not taking all those kinds of collisions as a running back. And finally, news in the college ranks, Arch Manning, the grandson of Archie Manning, the nephew of both Eli and Peyton Manning, and Cooper Manning's son, has committed to the Texas Longhorns. A little bit of a surpriser, but there's also news that Texas may go into the SEC as soon as this year, maybe even next year. So, and with the Manning name, that brings a whole lot of publicity. I think this might be the right choice if you're Archie Manning. And way to keep the Manning name alive. A guy who's watched NFL tape probably since he was an 8th grader. And now he has a chance to bring his game to the next level at the University of Texas.